Good morning, Bravehearts.
Good morning.
So anyways, this is day what?
5.
Day 5 of the 8-day Whole Life Coach certification. How are we doing?
Great.
How was your day off?
Great.
How do you feel about being back?
Great.
Cool. Okay. All right. So today's one a day, okay, is Mercury rising, adulteration. Okay. So it's Easter weekend, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, anyways, so you're young, you're just a toddler, okay? Mommy and daddy are adulterated, lying to you all the time because they're programmed. It's not their fault, but they're programmed. But, you know, we do have a choice to whether we should raise our kids lying to them or not. So first we lied that Santa brought all the gifts at Christmas. Meanwhile, okay, parents are out there working really hard, trying to keep up with the neighbors, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to keep up with all the media and all the consuming because we're being consumed. All right, what the kids want because the kids watch television, live vision. And you know what? The thing is this. If a child lies, they get punished, don't they? Go to your room, stand in the corner. They get the stick, they get the belt, they get the slap. Don't tell me they don't. Okay? Or they get what? They get degraded. Okay? They get forced down emotionally and physically. Okay? So understand that. So the reality is this, is that we just had Christmas, so Santa brought all the gifts, and when the kids find out, they've been lied to all their life. They're not happy about it. They're not happy. Nobody likes that kind of a joke. Okay? And understand something, parents are just going to do it. Oh, that's harmless. It wasn't harmless. It wasn't harmless to my kids, and it wasn't harmless to me. Now we're going to have Easter, and the Easter Bunny's going to bring all this junk. Okay? Meanwhile, the parents want to fit in because guess what? The herd is the herd. And the herd are always hurting. They're hurting inside, and they're going to hurt everyone else. So go ahead and follow the herd and do Easter. Get your kids those little Easter candies, the ones that are all different colors. Okay, they are GMO. Okay, they're GMO. They are corn syrup. They are processed sugar. And now you're going to say, oh my God, my child was just diagnosed with ADHD, or now it's on the spectrum. Well, it's on the spectrum because you blew its brain with cocaine. You blew its brain with cocaine, which is concentrated sugar, which is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. That's how addictive sugar is. White sugar. Okay, and white sugar is processed, so now all the white sugar is going into the flame cells of the baby, or the little girl or the little boy. Now, here's the deal. Does anybody realize that how many COVID cases, okay, there's going to be within 4 to 5 days after Easter, okay, from all the sugar that the kids eat, because sugar goes in and it causes inflammation. And the problem is it is infection. And how many people here know that a virus is not alive? If you looked it up, it's Greek. The Greek word means poison. It doesn't mean invisible 6-foot hopper. Okay, so the reality is that we're a bunch of morons. We're ignorant of true information. So now these kids are going to get sugared out. So they got sugared out at every time that your child is good. What do you say? Mommy's going to poison you. No. Mommy's going to give you a treat. So did anybody notice that every time you give a child a treat, you're poisoning the child? Now, you may not eat the treat yourself because it makes you sick and, you know, your teeth have all rotted out of you already. So the reality is that we are not living in a conscious moment because, you know, oh no, I'm not doing the sweets, but my kids love them. Well, why aren't you doing them? Well, because they make me feel sick. Well, what do you think it's doing to your children? So we never take it to that next level. Okay? So here's the deal. So now it's Easter and we need to fit in and we don't want our kids demanding anything. So why aren't you doing something and creating alternatives so to at least poison your children a little bit less? You know, what's wrong with standing up? What's wrong with standing out? What's wrong with having an understanding that ADHD, ADD, actually children that are on the spectrum, they're eating a lot of flour, a lot of dairy, and a lot of sugar. And if you notice that ADHD and ADD and children on the spectrum all have bowel problems. They either have colitis, or they have constipation, or they have bad cramping. There could be a clue here, and that is their immune system. So when you're done causing your children to blow their brains and they're bouncing off the walls, and then the husband says, "Can you control those children, please?" No, we can't, honey, because we're drugging them. Okay, and then the child, guess what, doesn't want to go to bed. The child has a mood. The child then has a tantrum and gets spanked for it. Why? And guess what? You know what? We are unconscious of our subconscious programs. So now we're going to tell the child that the Easter Bunny brought the candy. They're going to eat a ton of candy. Then they're going to brush their teeth with what? With what? With fluoride. No, with aluminum. Fluoride is aluminum. And it's to destroy the pineal gland, higher thinking. Oh, but wait a minute. Why didn't they just take silver bullet gel? Why didn't they take a little bit of black diamond or black gold and silver bullet gel that has no taste and have their children brush their teeth? And now they've got 70 micronutrients going into their mouth. Now they're going to absorb the heavy metals and the acidity they just caused and blew up the kid's mouth. Okay? So understand that. You know what, honey? You need to really stop eating sugar. Mommy, we just had Easter. Okay, you cannot eat all your candy today, but you can eat it all. So understand something. So now the child eats the candy, and because guess what? We're all so busy that the child doesn't really brush its teeth. It's an illusion. Just like most people here think they drink water. You know? So the reality is the child doesn't brush his teeth, and the sugar goes in and starts eating holes in the child's mouth. Right? Does everybody understand that if I get really stressed out, or if I eat an inflammatory diet, or one that we would call poisonous, I have to pull calcium out of my bones to buffer my blood, because if my blood level goes down, the pH of it just slightly, I go in a coma. If it goes down a little bit more, I die. So what do you think happens in their mouth with the sugar? The bone calcium gets pulled from the bones, okay, to try to create a more alkaline state. But we already know that sugar eats holes in things. So now we got a cavity, okay? You need to stop eating so much sugar.
Well, Mommy, you're the one that buys it and tells me the Easter Bunny brought it.
Okay, so the reality is now the child's got holes in its teeth. So seeing that, guess what? The Dental Association, oh, here we go. Let me ask you a question. If aluminum is toxic and it's poisonous, then we've got one of the greatest healthcare systems poisoning people, which means they're murdering them slowly. So the reality is that when they say, oh well, come on, we'll get you a silver filling, 47% of that silver filling is mercury. Mercury. So now the mercury's dripping into the child at a very young age when they're just developing. So up until you reach your actual late teens, okay, the absorption of that mercury, okay, is 20 to 40 times greater, crossing the blood-brain barrier and getting into the pineal gland. And once the pineal gland is calcified, now you have a dumb, low vibrational being. Because the pineal gland is the connection to our higher self. So that's the only reason why, okay, I'm gonna have something played here, and I'm gonna have it played on Tuesday, and I'm gonna have it played on Tuesday, Eastern Standard Time at 5 o'clock. Can you guys remind me? And it's gonna be an actual document that David Rockefeller wrote that was never supposed to get out in the public, about how we were gonna rot the teeth out of children, and how we were then going to put mercury in their mouth, and then we were going to calcify their pineal gland, and they were going to be enslaved with us forever. So I'm going to play that at 5 Eastern Time on Monday. And understand something. The medical system's not the healthcare system. So now what you do is now you've got these fillings in your child's mouth. So now mercury's coming in all the time. All right? They could have kept their teeth. But the reality is you're going to do what was done to you, unless you're an awakened parent. And there's only 1 out of 10,000 parents that are awake. Did you get that? Would you say that you were an awakened parent, any of you? No, you weren't. You weren't. That's the truth, and you know that. What you know today, if you knew back then. But the reality is you won't start researching until you know that you're in trouble. Because when you hang around with the herd that poisons themselves and their children, it's normal. My God. Okay, I'm going to be going to Sprout today. When I go to Sprout, I'm going to come on live. Now, Sprout is better than Whole Foods. But Sprout, if you look at it, I will walk through there, and I'm not going to talk about all the stuff, but I'm going to show you that almost everything organic has canola oil in it. Okay, everything organic, they sneak in corn syrup. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. So the reality is if you go to a health food store, out of 10 products that you go, oh, I'd like that as a treat, you're going to find only one if you read on the back, and you're going to pay the same amount of money for every of them. So you have to understand, what happens is we get this guy with a good idea, this girl, this guy, and they start doing something to help the world. Soon as it gets big, then what happens is the tobacco industry goes in and buys it. And then guess what? Because the tobacco industry owns all large food corporations. So guess who's looking after you? The same people that told you that if you smoke, it will exercise your lungs. Now, all doctors prescribed smoking when I was a child. There might have been the odd one because they were told to, because doctors are more robots than anything else. But if you see something with a white coat and they say something, you just do it. The white coat turns off your brain and you just do it. So that's what I've decided is that we're all going to wear white coats, okay? Because then maybe somebody might listen. So the reality is here, my child can't focus in school. Guess what? For every bit of sugar you give your child, the more that they will not be able to focus on their dreams and desires, and they'll end up like you. And I said end up like you. I said end up like you. Because with sugar, you cannot focus. With flour products, you cannot focus. With dairy, you cannot focus. With new and improved products, you cannot focus. Just go into any home, and they'll have what they call organic cereal in there that's not organic. And guess what? Even in the organic cereal, you're better off to eat the processed cereal. You're better off to eat the cardboard. There's more minerals. So I'm telling you right now that it's only getting worse. Take a look at the amount of sugar. Okay, how many people know, you're going to love this one, compared to 25 years ago, we eat 10 to 20 times more sugar today. So didn't anybody realize this? When I was like 8 years old, there was no autoimmune diseases. Okay, you heard of cancer here and there. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Now, 55% of the population will have stage 3 or 4 cancer in their lifetime. Right now, okay, heart disease is the main killer. And we know that 60% of the population will suffer with heart disease. Isn't that something? And that's because on an emotional level, you've been ruled, schooled, and fooled. And you don't know how to manage yourself properly. And guess what? And what's the biggest problem is you are an adrenaline junkie. Now, how do you make a child into an adrenaline junkie? You give it sugar, which speeds up everything, causes anxiety in the body, and they dump adrenaline. And then guess what? You get angry at it. You get angry at the child. You get angry at the child because, why don't you calm down? Okay, that's it. You are not going to have any more treats if you're going to act like this. Are you like out of your skull? I don't know. The last time I did cocaine, it didn't really keep me feeling normal. Okay? Do you understand? The last time I dropped a hit of acid, last time I did some crack, You know, seriously. So you got your kids on crack, okay? All right? What the hell is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? Okay, I'm going to tell you something. So planet Earth is never going to change, okay? All right? Just know that, go watch my Milk the Monkey video that we did. Go watch Crack the Coconut, everyone. Go look it up on YouTube. But I've got a new one coming for you, and it'll be out in a week. And this one here is predicting the future of the next year to year and a half, okay? I'm not going to tell you the name of it, okay? Okay? I just know this, it's got something to do with birds, okay? All right. Okay, that's all. Okay, so I'm going to fly right now, okay? That means first love myself. First love, fly stands for first love yourself, okay? I'm going to go to the bathroom, then we're going to come back here, and then we're going to talk about the digestive tract, and then we're going to go and stick our head up our butts and talk about the large intestine. So if you'd like to join us, just know one thing, you might want to pull your head out of your butt and see if you can not overeat and not overtreat, okay? Because did you ever notice something? When the family gets together, we poison each other. Isn't that nice? But besides the point, I wish everyone the most beautiful Easter, because Easter does not mean bunny rabbit. I'm not going to get into it. Easter stands for something else that's very important to everyone, so don't ever forget that, okay? God bless everyone. Please, okay, think about this. Have more than 4 inches of consciousness. That would be really great. Okay? Have a beautiful day.